Jearlean-Alston Taylor was diagnosed with a rare form of cancer when she was only 2 years old. As a result, she battled low self-esteem, depression, and even suicidal thoughts. She joins me via Skype today to talk about what she calls pretty girl blues. Welcome, Jearlean.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for joining us. You capture a bit of your life in this book, Pretty Girl Blues. But what's your earliest recollection of knowing that you were different from all other children, and what were the feelings that went along with that?
It actually started when I was 2 years old, when I developed a rare form of cancer called rhabdomyosarcoma. And it is a childhood cancer, but where the cancer was located in my body, I was forced to have an ostomy. And an ostomy is it's a surgically opening in the body where the discharge of waste. So I had two ostomies, one on my right side and left side, just below my navel area, which causes me to have an ostomy bag. So I've had that since 3 years old. So just going on 44 years with an ostomy bag. And growing up with that was very, very difficult, being teased by my peers and just learning how to deal with it at a young age and growing up with it. So it was very, very difficult for me. But yet and still, while I was in my mother's womb, God had a plan for my life. And I had to go through those difficult moments to be where I am today, telling my story and telling my testimony that it may help someone.
Let me just say, you mentioned in passing, it's been on 40-something years. You don't look any older than 16.
Well, in a few more months, I'll be 47 years old.
Wow.
So again, it's been 44 years having an ostomy bag and talking about it and just dealing with that. It's been quite a journey and quite a story that I have.
So I gather from the book that the cancer you had, I mean, it wasn't just you, there were others around you that had cancers. Tell us a bit about that and how your family got through those periods.
Yes, again, it is a childhood cancer, and it's a rare form of cancer, and doctors gave me a 50-50 chance to live. So, with my siblings and my parents, just dealing with a sick child. But at the same time, they treated me normal as possible, and I was just their sister that was a little sick. And it was difficult for my parents, being young as I was, and doctors giving us a 50-50 chance to live. But again, their faith in God and their trust in God, they knew that their daughter would be healed, and I was.
Now, despite what you've just described and some of the things you describe in the book, the feelings you had, the thoughts you had, here you are. We look at you and we see, the CEO of a company, we see a model, we see all these things. At what point were you able to get past the legitimate feelings you had of pain, of depression sometimes, to be able to do the things you've done?
Well, it started maybe about 10 years ago. I had a mentor in my life and taught me about journal writing. So what I did was I started to write about everything I ever felt about my sickness, about the depression, about why me, why this, why did I have to have this disease, and those things like that. And what I discovered was that my story was not for me to keep to myself. So as I began to write, I began to heal. And God just began to talk to me, and I began to talk to him. And he began to answer those questions of why me, why me? And he said to me, Jearlean, why not you? I am building you to be strong. I am building you to be a conqueror. I am building you that you may tell the world of my goodness. So just writing was very, very therapeutic for me and allowed me to face some things.
Let me ask you, Jearlean, for someone who's watching, I mean, different people have different things they're battling. Different reasons why they can't get past the point they're at, be it in Africa or in Australia or in Europe. As you've done your journey, both for yourself and met other people who've had issues, what have you found to be the single biggest hurdle that we all have to get over with the adversities we face?
I think what it is, we just have to love ourselves more. I think we just have to believe that God made us who we are in his image. And we are a designer original. God didn't make any junk. He made us special. And we have to realize we have to love ourselves. And we have to know that, God has a plan for us. And no matter what we go through in life, there's a purpose. There's a purpose for our pain. There's a purpose for the hurdles that we have to go over in life. And we just have to trust and believe in God.
Sorry, Jearlean, let me interrupt you, because that sounds incredible. And I mean,
Yes.
Someone's watching you right now, and they look at you, and you can understand them saying, well, it's all right for you. Look at you. Look at your hair. I mean, you're successful, whatever. But when I'm going through that moment where
Yes.
that sickness seems so overwhelming,
Yes.
or
Yes.
the situation seems so how do I get to the point where I overcome that and remind myself that God has a plan, that I am not a reject, and all those wonderful things you've just said?
And I think with me, what I did was I look back. And I look back where God has brought me from. And you can look back on yesterday. You can look back on last week. You can look back on years ago. I remember just being a child and not loving myself. I just look back, and I look back to see how far God has brought me to this point. And he has a further journey for me in my life, and for others that's watching. Just know God knows. He knows. He knows, and he hears our cry, and he will answer our prayers if we just trust and believe in him.
Jearlean, thank you so much. And it's
Thank
funny,
you.
as you were talking, the song that was ringing in my head was He Knows My Name, He Knows My Every Thought.
Yes, yes.
Thank you for sharing in your book, and we look forward to talking to you again soon.
Thank you. Thank you so much.